All right. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Arachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, to us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect and to the men that died doing the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, because they shall of us first. To the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son, which the Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he's the deliverer, because he comes to deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. My name is Ma'akala Bungab and Yasharala, Church of Philadelphia, Camp here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once again, come back at you with another one. And the title says Bill Gates speaks on the digital currency, which we know that that digital currency is 100% going to turn into the MOT to the big. All right, and I got some scriptures lined up, but they're all on the poor, right? And this man mentions, when has Esau ever been worried about the poor, man? You know, he's never been. Hey, Shalom, bro. Yabashir Bashem Chakadash Brakada. But this man has never been worried about the poor. This video is actually says I think it's 12 years ago. All right, it says Bill Gates on a digital future and financial inclusion. And yo, guess what? He's Bill Gates is one of the biggest the farmers now. All right, so they're controlling the food. They got everything stuff. But this video is about 3 minutes. I'm gonna play it, and then I'm gonna grab the scriptures. Check it out.
Thank you for inviting me to participate in your forum. I wish I could be there in person to take part in the discussions you'll have over the next few days. If we were building a financial system from scratch today, we'd do it on a digital platform. Digital can lower the cost of a range of transactions by as much as 90%, providing nearly universal access to innovative financial products and services. Unfortunately, we don't have that luxury of starting from scratch. So we have to show not only the vision to plan for this better digital future, but also the wisdom to manage a secure transition from the current system. It's a big responsibility, but with more than 2.5 billion people not able to get at formal financial services, the opportunity compels us to do it. Poor people do have assets. Their intellect, their labor, their savings. The problem is that they don't have financial tools to capitalize on these resources.
Yo, time out real quick. When he's when this man is mentioning the poor people, cause I watched it before I wrote the scriptures down and everything, but basically he's talking about you Israelites, man. All right. So Esau's all about taking out they really want the elect of the nation of Israel, but they coming after all Israel. Check it out.
They're trapped in an inefficient cash economy that robs them of opportunities to insure themselves against risk, invest in their productivity, and ultimately to help lift them out of poverty. The vision, the Alliance for Financial Inclusion, laid out in the Maya Declaration is a paradigm shift in the way the poor are able to approach life, seizing control of it rather than trying to manage it. Success will require a paradigm shift in the way we conceive of the financial system, from cash-based to digital. Paradigm shifts are hard work. Individually, as regulators, and together as members of the Alliance for Financial Inclusion, you will have to confront problems that didn't exist before. How should retailers, telecommunications companies, and banks work together? How does innovation function in a financial system that also needs to be safe and secure? How can the poor provide input about what new products and services would meet their unique needs? Innovations like vaccines and high-yielding crops.
Oh shit. Slacker. Yo, time out real quick. You heard what he said. He used the V word, right? And this, like I said, this is I think this video is about 12 years old. But the whole thing is, the reason I'm bringing it out, because I saw the video earlier, was this man is still talking about the digital currency, which is coming, which starting with the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone, teach them about the MOT to the B being that chip. And that's why I chose to use the chip uh sign for the thumbnail. You know, these devils had this plan and all these things in the play, so to speak. They had plans for this to happen, and they're pushing for it. All right. So I'm gonna keep continuing to play the video. Like I said, I got some scriptures, lined up. So check it out. Here, let's keep going.
People. You're on the cusp of another breakthrough innovation, including the poorest in a financial system that increases instead of limiting the value of their assets. Transforming the underlying economics of financial services through digital currency will help those who live in poverty directly.
See that?
It will also support
Israelites.
a host of other development activities, including health and agriculture.
See that? Yo, slack it. Time out again. Yo, he said health and agriculture. Like I said, I came across this video. It's like 12 years old, but now agriculture is going to like the farming industry and things like that. So they're controlling everything. If you have control, like look at ancient Egypt, when Joseph was there, our forefather, Yahweh in the Hebrew, when he was there, right, he was sold into slavery, right, by his brothers. Now it was a famine that came there because the Pharaoh at that time had a vision, 7 years, he didn't even know it was 7 years, but it was 7, I think, cattle, real husky Jones. Then it was the fat ones. No, the skinny cattle swallowed up the fat ones. Being was that when Yahweh Joseph explained the dream to the Pharaoh, he was letting him know that you're gonna have 7 years of prosperation, I guess is the right word to use, for those 7 years with food and everything. Then you're gonna have 7 years of famine. That's why the skinnier cattle swallowed up the whole cattle, and that's how this the dreams work, whatever. But anyway, my brother got here legendary 144K. Isaiah 32:7 says the instruments also at the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor. That's right. To destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speak right. That's right. Speak it right. Khan ate the water for that, brother. Cause damn. And that's what he's doing. He's sitting here lying. And yo, another one is in Psalms like the words of his mouth are smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. And that's what they say. Oh, we gotta help the poor. But who's the poor, man? All right, who is the poor? The true Israelites. That's what they talking about. They're not talking about them people, man. Right? Because they got the resources, they got the riches, and Bill Gates is up there with those people, man. All right, but check it out. Let me finish playing this video, and I got some more.
Future. First, we need to drive the policy changes to make sure the poor can get engaged.
See that? He said policy changes.
Second, we need a measurement system that tracks the progress towards drawing people in, not just to have accounts, but to really...
No, you see that? He said we need basically tracking. And what's that RFID microchip? That's a tracking device, man, which you have in your phones. All right. Now, there's nothing wrong with RFID technology, but once you put it inside somebody's body, then now that's where the problem begins. Because now you're saying that person belongs to you. That person is your slave. That person is your product. All right. We belong to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harachaha Kodash. All right. Check this out.
Benefit from financial activity. In just over 4 years, Afi has already become the leader in this field, and now you're taking the next step of becoming an independent, member-owned organization. By continuing to be bold, you will add financial inclusion to a long and growing list of innovations that revolutionized life for the poor. Thank you, and I wish you a very successful forum.
You see, I kept mentioning the poor, right? So, around this first scripture, might get it in the NLT. The Fair Housing Act. I'm gonna look that up, bro. The Fair Housing Act. This is James. All right, we're gonna go. This is James chapter 2 and verse 5. All right. In KJV. James is the brother of Yahweh Shai. All right, this is James chapter 2, verse 5. It says, Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not the Most High, says God, have not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love him. All right. And all this man kept mentioning, oh, the poor, the poor, the poor. But the Lord chose the poor this place. Well, what's that in Revelation? I believe in the 3rd chapter it says, I know thy poverty, but thou art rich, right? Because we really rich, right? The earth was created for our sakes, but now you got the bases of the heathen that's in control. They're not used to having wealth, so they wanna hoard everything. Look at how these guys dress, man. Because they're not royal people, man. They're natural born slaves, and they're talking real those how do you say those words, dragoness, so to speak. They talking crazy, man. All right, boastful, proud. When our people taught them everything, how to dress, how to wash, and everything. All right, ungrateful SOBs. They want to catch it, man. All right, check it out. It's James 2 and 5 in the NLT. It says, listen to me, dear brothers and sisters. Hasn't the Most High chosen the poor in this world to be rich in faith? And that's what we got. And that's crazy because I was watching the brother's video over there in London, and he was bringing out faith. And I wanted to do a video on faith too as well. I'm going to do it, Lord's willing, later on today. I know I had to plan all night, so I'm doing this one because this was with my spirit. All right, it says, aren't they the ones who will inherit the kingdom he promised to those who love him? And guess who love him? The elect. All right. Look at, matter of fact, look at Job. All right. This is how rich our people really are. Job was the richest man in the East in his time. Right. So like y'all going to Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. That's who's controlling things. That's who's running things. But the Lord is allowing that to happen so he could throw the whammy on them. They in derision. The scripture say, why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? Let's go here to Psalms 34 and 6. We'll go to KJV first. Psalms 34 and 6 in the KJV, it says, the poor man cried and Yahweh heard him, and saved him out of all his troubles. And guess what? The poor man, start with the elect, the nation of Israel. They crying out to the Lord. Those are the ones that's going to be delivered. So all these devices, hey, shalom, bro. Yabashim Shabrakatah, bong, bong. My gosh, Shapar right there, man. Good brother right there. Check that brother out, man. It's a good brother. Boston brother, man. But I'm gonna read that again. All right. This is Psalm chapter 34 and 6. In the KJV, it says, this poor man cried, and Yahweh heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. And like when we go out on the highways and hedges, right? That's what we're doing. We're crying. We're sighing and crying to the Lord for the injustices of our people and what these devils have planned. All right, they have an agenda. So we have to pray to the Lord and ask to be saved out of this. All right, ask to be forgiven. Ask for that mark, that Nawah. All right, which is to be exempt from judgment. Because these devils, and you heard the video I played for you with Bill Gates and all that. This man, he's on a rampage, man. And that's in the scripture tell you, it says, knowing that he has but a short time, that devil about to come in with that wrath, man. All right. And they sitting there. Oh, they sitting back just patiently waiting, basically. So let's hop down to verse 17. All right. It says, the righteous cry, and Yahweh heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles. All right, let me read that again. The righteous cry, and Yahweh heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles, man. And what's the troubles coming? What? Jacob's trouble, man. All right, which is right here at the door. You know, a lot of brothers, you know, you got brothers over there in Chicago, believe California brothers, LA, San Francisco, where the brothers at. You know, they deployed a lot of military there. But this digital thing, ID, that's basically in Esau's world. That's the new wave, all right? Because they want complete control over everybody, all right? That's on this planet, because his time is over. But the Lord, man, He has control over His. All right, so let's go ahead to Job 29 and 12. All right, it's Job chapter 29, verse 12. All right, basically all about the poor. It says, because I delivered the poor that cried and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. All right, and Esau right now, guess what? They got all the help, they got all the money, they got all the resources because the earth was given to them. But going into I think it's Second Ezra's, I think the sixth chapter said the earth be created for our sake. Why don't we possess our inheritance? All right, because it's a time period. Things like you look at Daniel with the statue, right, and all the levels of our captivity. And we're at the bottom, the foot of this captivity. Lord's willing, be a part of that number. We get delivered up out of here, man. Things is coming to a clutch, and like I said, this digital ID thing, and then to all you other Israelite groups that's pushing that the MOT to the B is not the RFID microchip, you're going off, man, and you're lying to the people, and the Most High is going to deal with you personally, man. All right, because you can't lie to the flock, man. All right, but just go ahead. Job 29 and 12, it says, because I delivered the poor that cried and the fatherless and him that had none to help him. So who's helping Israel right now? Go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, 20 and 68, when it says, no man shall buy you, means saving you. So is Esau trying to save you, but he keeps talking about the poor, how much he wants to help you? No, he's trying to furthermore fuck you over, man. Never trust our enemy, man. When they trying to give you something like they had that, and the man mentioned that V word too, which that already happened, and that was a test run and all that. But now it's no holds bars right here. All right, so let's go here. We're going to go to Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 16. All right, this is Proverbs 22 and 16. It says, he that oppresses the poor to increase his riches. And that's what they do. They oppressing the poor to increase their riches. All right. This guy is one of the richest men on the planet, and they're oppressing us. Right. The poor, the righteous. All right. You Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the real riches, the real jewelry. To Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Arachaha Quadash, starting with his elect, man. All right. So let's read this again. Proverbs 22 and 16. It says, he that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. All right. And guess what? They about to go into slavery, man. It says they shall surely come into want, because this place wasn't designed for them. It wasn't designed for them to rule anything. It was designed for us to rule, So when you put you put a let's say imbecile, man. That's what Esau is, a fucking imbecile. Excuse my language, man, but he's an imbecile, man. So when you put an imbecile into power, he's just going to act like an imbecile. That's the scriptures say. He's a child, man. It says children rule over us and women are our oppressors, and the children is talking about Esau because he got childlike laws, man. On every corner that you turn in this place, man. Childlike laws, whatever state you go to. All right. They're going to come into want real soon, man. All the plans that they have and the nukes that they have and all that, it's only for the Lord's his glory, It's for his glory and for basically just for his glory, man. To show you that he made them make them. He's going to use that to take out this place. He got a scarf on him. He can't even get through. I keep following. It's cool though. Check it out. We're going to go to Proverbs chapter 21. All right. And 13. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 13. It says, Whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor. And that's what they're doing. And it's going to come to a time from Babylon where you're going to have the haves and the have-nots. All right. So it's going to be rich or poor. The middle class is done. Babylon is basically done. It's fallen. And you got this government shutdown and all that, right? So with that, like now they talking about, and that's another lesson, man, because they got the SNAP, for these families. And it's funny because what's that happening around? Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, Christmas season. So you ain't gonna have no good holidays here. The Lord is shutting it down, man. Call out Yahweh outside by showing Kakadas, because he does things perfectly, man. He's real precise. Going back to Proverbs chapter 21 and 13, it says, Whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. So, I don't even feel sorry for Esau, man. Because everything he did and everything that, that he's about, he's going to try like that story with, the rich man talking about Lazarus, I believe, and he was in the bosom. Like, yo, man, these devils, they have no wins, man. All right. When they start crying in the kingdom, because they want like out or whatever, they're not going to be heard. The Lord ain't delivering them. The only ones who's going to be delivered is the elect of the nation of Israel. Start with the elect. All right. And then the 1/3 with them. Then 2/3 are going to come through in the kingdom through the loins of the elect. All right. In their right minds. And they're going to be known as children of the elect. All right. So this is Proverbs chapter 14 and 31. Last scripture. And I'm going to close it up. Lord's willing, this was edifying. You got something out of it. But it says, this is Proverbs chapter 14 and 31. It says, He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker. I'm going to get that in the NLT. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him, have mercy on the poor. So, you supposed to have mercy on the less fortunate. That's how you thrive. That's how you survive. And it's showing because, like, you got to be in tune with Yahweh Shemi Shai's his will. All right, and that's another thing. Like the apostles are talking about speaking in codes. The Bible is written in codes, man. And it's up to the Lord to be dealing with you to break those codes down. You understand me? But let's read this again. Proverbs chapter 14 and 31. This is in the NLT. All right. It says, Those who oppress the poor insult their maker. God damn. Now, who is their maker? Who is the maker of everything? Yahweh. Yahweh created Yahweh Shai. All right. And the rest of the spirits after that. All right. So if you and you damn devils, you're oppressing us. So you're insulting your maker. Who's your maker? Yahweh. All right, let me read that again. It says, Those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honors him. All right. So man kept talking about the poor, and that's what they got this thing set up for. That MOT to the B, but they want, it says rich or poor, free and bond. They really don't care, man. It's just as long as they get the glory, that's how they see it. But the glory is going to be given to Yahweh Shai by Shema Chakwadash at the end of the day, man. So Lord's willing, this was edifying. You got something out of it to the next lesson. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, tell us the truth. Honor and salutations to the elect. To the next lesson, I'm going to say Mawafa Baba Ball, Kwame Asharala. Shalom.